All right, so Lake Conroe was the kickoff to the 2025 Bass Pro Tour season. Did not end up quite like I was hoping, but let me tell you a little bit about what did happen, what good things happened, and what I learned from it. $1.9, 1/8 the minimum, so that they got to be that big or bigger. But got a pretty good start to the day. I'll take it if I can do this in the tournament. We fished about 3 hours and caught 6 scorables so far, so feeling pretty good. If you followed along, you know our circuit has changed from the fact of, instead of having 3 periods of live scope, now we have 1 period we can live scope, 2 that you can't. Wasn't sure how that was going to play out. All I could really go off of was my experience from there last time. And if you guys watched along last time, you know it was pretty tough. You know, it was a grind, and if I remember right, it took about 35 pounds to win one of our rounds. You know, we had 2 groups at the time, so like 35 pounds for 2 days. So I was way off on the weight, and that came back to really bite me. And you know, the side I didn't expect was how good they were going to catch them live scoping. I didn't find them like that. I caught some, but nothing to show me where I could go out and catch the amount of weights that guys were catching in that amount of time. But you know, the good thing was I did get a fish for heavy hitters. I think I caught a 5 something, so that really puts me in the hunt for heavy hitters, so that's a good thing. So just got to keep that momentum going. I didn't knock myself out of it at the first event, so that was really a good thing. But you know, for me, I went into that event. I went to an area where I fished the last time back in 2019 was our last time there. If I would have went out into that event with the confidence I have with the bladed jig and thrown it the whole time, I might have ended up in the top 10, because that's how a lot were caught. Awesome. Early in the year like this, you can't go wrong with riprap. Do a bladed jig up there and caught a nice one. If I can do that consistently each period, catch 2 or 3 like that, I'll be right where I need to be. I went back to an area where I fished the last time, and actually several of the top finishers did. I went there the first morning. Water temp was 47 degrees, throwing a bladed jig, just covering water, and had 5 or 6 bites in a matter of no time. And I thought, man, as this week is warming and progressing, it's just going to get better. So I caught a few fish here or there, found some other areas, a big area with some hydrilla in it that was going to be the other kind of my plan B, and found a few scoping fish. But I really opted for that area the first morning, and I definitely wasn't alone. That first morning, I think there was 6 of us that all started within sight of each other. And as we're waiting there for lines in, I noticed the water temp went from 47 degrees on Monday to today was, you know, it was Thursday. Water temp is 55 degrees. So you would think that the fish would just be going crazy, and got in there, and I only managed to catch, I think it was 2 fish that first period, and I was really falling behind. I was shocked at how good they were catching them. You could kind of tell. We're not allowed to see it, but you could just tell guys were catching them, you know, live scoping. And £1.09 ounces. Oh wow, that's about as squeaky as they get right there. 1.9, but hey, it's some weight. Maybe we're on to something here. From there, I kind of went for plan B, was to go up to the creek I'd found all the hydrilla in, and it was one of those things. Once I arrived, I realized I should have been there sooner from the get-go. I should have went with plan B to begin with, because here's several of the top finishers in that area and all that, but you could tell just by the amount of boats. But got in there and just kept throwing a bladed jig around it, and managed to catch a decent amount of fish. Get in the boat. What you doing? 12.
pound 9 ounces.
1.9. Keep myself in the hunt. I didn't, wasn't completely out of it, but I knew I'd have to have a great second day. So fast forward to the second day, you're trying to strategize and figure out a way to make a big comeback. And what I opted for was to go back to that area with the hydrilla in it and hoped I could just kind of get the ball rolling, hopefully catch a big one and catch the numbers I needed, at least that first period. And then from there, I would make an assessment as far as if I would scope the second period or third period. Well, lo and behold, got in there that first period and I did catch a 5.5 pounder, which was great. And I, it got just enough of the bites going there where I felt like, man, if I could just get them going, I could really have a big comeback. And what happened was, kind of my other side deal was to go out and scope the second period. Well, what happened was the wind just really kicked up and was really blowing. I mean, it was blowing like 25, 30. I mean, it would have been really difficult to get out there and scope, but it's great for a bladed jig. So I kept fishing in there and was grinding it out. I mean, if it was a 5-fish deal, I would have had a really good day of fishing, but that's what makes what we do so tough. With every fish counts. I gained a little bit, and then it's just the guys were just catching them so fast. So, at the end of the day, I grounded out. I think I caught maybe a dozen to 15 scorables. So, a great day on the water, but just did not catch enough to make a comeback. I think what I kind of take away from it was Lake Conroe was probably a lake that hasn't got a lot of attention as far as forward-facing sonar goes, as far as live scoping goes. And of course, we go there and we showed the world that how many fish that were in there that were untapped. I think Justin Cooper won the tournament, and most of his damage was done basically one period a day, whereas out there doing that. So the one thing I take away from it as we go forward in our season, it doesn't matter where we're at, I'm going to have to at least take a portion of my practice and really think about using that strategy as far as using my forward facing sonar. Even as we go into events where they're fishing spawning events, guys are able to actually find fish and fish for them with live scope on bed. So it's one of those things. It amazes me after 30 years of doing this how I'm still learning, and I think building my experience. And as we move forward, I'm going to be paying more attention to the live scope, even with our new strategy. But I really like it. You're having to adjust and keep it fresh. So on to the next one, and hopefully big catches.